Guys, welcome to the latest episode of the Heat Locker. You're right, if you got a cough, mate, you go for it.
I'm good.
Today we've got a good buddy of mine. We've got Denis Roberts here. Welcome, Denis.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
We're back here at Sydney. The last couple of podcasts have been actually in New York City. So back here at Sydney West Martial Arts. And we're in the sauna. And we're actually trialling a different setup today with our videos. We can't catch the whole thing just on one video. So we're going to kind of try filming each of us and then combining that. So we're going to see how that goes. So if you're watching this now, hopefully it looks good. As always, the audio should be spot on, but we're interested to see how this will go with the actual video. So bear with us as best you can, guys. Guys, Denis is a good buddy of mine. We've been trying to make this happen now for a fair while. Yeah. And Denis and I just never in the same country with each other. He's been abroad in the US for years and years now, and I look forward to actually getting into that and kind of going through your story because it's super interesting. But welcome. It's great to have you out here today.
Yeah, it's great to be here finally. We almost did this back in January. I was out here training, but somehow we just spent too much time on the mats having fun and didn't make time to make it in here.
Yeah,
so it's good to finally do it.
That's not a bad thing. We got to touch a few things this morning, touch up on a few things, watch some video, and I think even that was good. Like, I enjoy going through that and getting your kind of thoughts on things. And
especially because it's all Danaher stuff, and like you've been there, so you understand the system better. And if I look at that, I don't see half the things that you can point out to me. And some of the things you pointed out today really were like paradigm shifting for me. Really cool. Yeah,
and look, I mean, I'm not. I'm definitely not a Danaher whisperer. I'm not in the room like some of the other guys are, but I think I've had enough experience with him and just trying to work out how he's thinking that I kind of feel like I'm a little more confident with picking what the systems they're working. But I wanted to start. I like to do this with most of the people because a lot of the people listening don't know the guys we're chatting to, right? So I kind of like to start at the beginning, right? And I feel like your story is really interesting.
It's fucking long too.
It's fucking long. And so you've been I've been training jiu-jitsu now for this will be my 15th year, but you've got me covered. You've already started when I started.
I started in 2001.
Man.
So
does that make you feel old?
Fucking A, man. I am old.
How old are you?
38, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm busted up and old. I feel 48, 58.
I'm 34 this year, and I'm starting to not feel old. Physically, I feel fantastic. But when you got kids coming in the gym that are 16 years old, you're like, oh, I'm not that guy anymore. I'm not 16.
You can train 3 times a day, no problem. That's kind of gone.
Yeah. But so even before that, but you grew up here in Australia. You grew up in Canberra, right?
Yeah, I was born in Sydney. I think when I was 3 or 4, I moved to Canberra, and then I've been there until I moved overseas. I was there all through like my childhood, my teens, everything. Yeah.
And I kind of put you as being one of our most experienced martial artists. If we're being honest, like there's guys like Rob Whittaker and a few others that have got some very high level experience in martial arts now, but I feel like the breadth of your different disciplines and then who you've gone out to try and learn from, which is kind of something I've kind of learnt from you and tried to follow that direction of definitely appreciating and trusting the coaches you have. But if you get an opportunity to sort of draw from a bigger pool to do that, I mean, you've done that more than maybe anyone else has. So, I mean, I want to get into that in a bit. But so you grew up in Canberra, and then what sporting career wise, what did you start out doing? I mean, you're 6'5"
and a half. Yeah.
Dennis is a giant of a man. For those that can't really even tell from the camera,
I'm all crunched up in here.
Yeah, he's struggling, but he's 6'5". He's about 110, 120 odd kilos.
110.
Absolutely huge. So, what sports sort of were you drawn to as a kid?
Well, at first, none. I was a fat little artist.
Oh, really?
Like, I was a big kid, but I come from like an academic family. There was no push towards sports at all. So I didn't, like, I was all about art. I wasn't into schoolwork. I was just drawing and painting, sculpting, all that sort of stuff. Right. And then started mountain biking when I was like 12, 13, 14. Then when I was 14, I started playing basketball, and just I've always been obsessive with something, and then like I found basketball and was just obsessed with that for a few years.
Your build is perfect for that, isn't it? Absolutely perfect.
Yeah. So
big athletic guy is the basketball.
But I started out playing basketball fucking uncoordinated.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had no idea. I mean, you look at me now, you see me move, you think, yeah, athlete, whatever. But back then, I'd never done anything, so I almost had to teach my body to be coordinated. I was this big, overgrown, lanky kid. I couldn't hardly like bounce a ball between my legs or anything. I was retarded, but I loved it, so I just kind of stuck with it and got good eventually. Yeah.
Did you play a good grade of basketball?
Yeah, played like so in school. Played like at the highest level. My college, Lake Ginninderra was a really good team, and they won some national titles and stuff. And we had like a lot of the AIS players and stuff coming through because the Institute of Sport was right down the road. So yeah, we had some good players. Yeah, a lot of them went on to play like NBA and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
And did you just not have the ability to make it that far? I mean,
in my last year of school was when I discovered martial arts. I just totally changed my focus. So it was, great. Year 12 was when I started like kickboxing and stuff. And I kept playing basketball and coaches kept trying to want me to do stuff, but it just wasn't my focus anymore. Yeah.
So you when you say you found martial arts, you started kickboxing initially, did you?
Yeah. So I had a friend called Rennie and another guy called Wayne. I'd always been interested, like I'd always watch Kung Fu movies and all that sort of stuff. And, Schwarzenegger, everything, but I never really tried it. And then one of my buddies started kickboxing, some Filipino stick fighting and stuff. So I kind of messed around a bit with him in the backyard. He showed me some things, and then,
That's always how it starts, isn't it? It's like some random dude's backyard is where, like that was actually the same for me. It was like this random dude that was into martial arts. I'd never thought of it. You're training with him, and then next thing you're like, okay, this is kind of cool.
And another reason I started, actually, I was a big kid and everything, but I was like not the oldest kid playing basketball. A lot of kids older than me. So when you're good, you kind of get into the better teams when you're younger. And there was one guy who was kind of bullying me and stuff. And this big Samoan Tongan kid, whatever. Name was Billy. Still know the guy. So
still living in Canberra?
Yeah. So he kind of bullied me a bit. And at the time I was like, I don't like this, man. Fuck this. I think I want to beat this dude's ass. So started kickboxing with the total intent of kicking this guy's ass.
Just to beat up Scioli or whatever his name was.
Villy. And then about, if I remember, like hitting the bag, thinking about his name, thinking about punching his face, all that. About 1 week later, I'd forgotten all about him. I was like, this is the fucking shit. I love this. I just want to do this all day. I just fell in love with it.
So Villy never got his ass kicking?
Nah. I think he maybe sort of knows. I think he heard, but I mean, he's cool to me now. Yeah. And to be honest, as fucked as that is, or was, that set me on a totally different trajectory. Like, the total different path in life I wouldn't have taken otherwise. So something bad ended up, just so much good came out of that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it would have been horrendous getting paid $100 million in the NBA. That would have been miserable.
Yeah, well, got to do what you love, though, you know?
Yeah, no, I'm totally behind that. Yeah. So you switched over there. What did you just go find a random academy? Or
no, it was where my buddy trained at. So it was under a guy called John Hatzis, and he was just a tough dude. He looked like a full-on bikie. He kind of was a bikie. He had like a shaved head, little ponytail plait, a goatee, kind of fat tattoos, wore like wife beater tank tops and little stubby shorts and flip-flops, and just an Aussie bogan biker, just tough dude. So I started with him, not your traditional like martial arts coach, you know? And then he definitely instilled in me like hard work and kind of being tough and pushing through stuff. Power, things like that, like hitting hard and everything. He didn't have, like, I learned a lot more later. At the time I was like, this guy's the shit, you know? So he got me started really good. But the best thing I took from him was kind of like, I learned some sort of toughness and hard work, for sure. Yeah.
So then you moved away from him?
Well, I did that for a while, trained up for a fight, and the fight kind of fell through. And then
Kickboxing?
Got a bit disgruntled with it. Started just like lifting weights and stuff for a while. Stopped training. I just trained on and off. And then, meanwhile I started watching UFCs, and the striking wasn't that good back then. It was like UFC 1, 2, 3, whatever. I'm watching all those, and I'm seeing like Hoist Gracie kicking butt, and I'm thinking, man, maybe I could learn this grappling stuff. I reckon I could maybe do this fighting if I figure that stuff out. Didn't know anything about wrestling. I just thought it was grappling and striking. And then I finally found a jiu-jitsu place in 2001. So back when I started, it was 2008 that I started kickboxing. Did it for like a year and a half, then on and off.
1998, you mean?
Yeah.
1998.
Yeah, sorry. 98. And then 2001, I found jiu-jitsu. Yeah. And then, fell in love with that. So
there was jiu-jitsu in Canberra at that stage?
yeah, it was, fuck man, we're so spoiled now. We
Yeah, I
are
know.
so spoiled.
Yeah.
Back then, it was a guy called Michael McGee, and he had just got his blue belt from, I forget his coach's name. But yeah, he got his blue belt from a mythical purple belt. Man,
Ooh.
this purple belt just sounded like a killer to me.
Yeah.
Ken. It was Ken something.
See, for people that are listening that don't appreciate, every gym wasn't run by black belts.
Nah.
You know, they're literally blue-purple was like mind-blowing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so my first day, I went and got my ass kicked by this guy. And I think there's kind of like often two types of people. Someone goes, gets a butt kick and be like, that's not for me.
Mm-hmm.
Other person goes and realizes this is where you learn to kick butt.
Yep.
This guy's got the secret.
Mm-hmm.
So he kicked my butt and I was just all in. And he was actually telling me that he was probably about to shut up shop because he just wasn't getting anyone, like someone come for a week or two, then leave. And he wasn't even covering the rent in the gym. So I was like, all right. I went and got a whole bunch of my friends, started getting all my friends to start coming. A couple of them sort of stayed. Most of them kind of went away. But in the meantime, we started to get other customers and we got enough numbers that we could start to build off that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Was it just in a hall or something, or actually had like a?
It was
place?
like a little matted room in a weights gym. They had like kickboxing and stuff.
Yeah.
So he just paid rent for like 3 nights a week or something. Yeah. So started with him, and yeah, he was just kicking my butt. This mythical blue belt, fresh blue belt back in 2001 is not like a blue belt now. So
no.
Yeah, nothing. So nothing special, but I thought this guy had the cheat code to fighting as far as I was concerned. Yeah,
that moment's beautiful, isn't it?
yeah. When you find that, honestly, it was like some hack in the Matrix. This guy knew the code. This guy knew the cheat. This guy could figure out. This guy had the secret, and I could get it from him.
Who had he been training under?
So he trained on this guy Ken. I forget his last name. Who was a purple belt. And these guys are Will Machado guys. So they were under John Will. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's madness.
Yeah.
So John Will was he went and trained with Carlos and all
Egan
the
stuff,
brothers, and he was probably one of the first Australians.
Yeah, definitely one of the first. I think he was one of the dirty dozen. The first 12 guys that got black belts that weren't Brazilian.
Yeah.
So he was pretty old school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
I mean, you were actually kind of lucky that blue belt existed because you wouldn't think Canberra's a regional town, really.
I mean, apart from him, there was no one. There was one dude that had been there a few years before, but he kind of just faded away. And I don't know if he was good or not. So yeah, I was really lucky with that.
So then how does that... So you and I met each other at SPMA, Sinister Perosh Martial Arts in Concord.
Yeah. Probably
in around 2005, 2006. How did you end up there? How did we end up crossing paths? How did that...
Well, I can't remember if it was my coach or Ben Malley. One of my training partners, Ben Malley, is a pretty solid black belt.
Mm-hmm.
He came up with me. He was like white, blue, purple with me, and we wanted to get to Sydney and start training with Elvis Sinisic and Anthony Prosh, who at the time were brown belts. Mm-hmm. And that to me was like extra mythical, So
and they were actually good.
Yeah,
like there was even for today's centers, like they were good.
Yeah, they were good competitors internationally, and Elvis was fighting the UFC then. Anthony wasn't yet. So yeah, we started going up. I think I might have actually been the first one to go up. I think I went up for just like on a weekend or something, trained with Elvis one time, and then Ben started making trips like once a month, and I'd join him. So we'd go up on a Friday, train that night for an open mat, train a private the next morning, do 2 sessions back to back after the private, and then drive back to Canberra without having a shower. It was disgusting.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you know what staff was back then?
I had no idea. So Michael, he ended up... We started doing this for a little bit. Then Michael, he went back to Queensland. We got our blue belts from John Will. And then me, Ben, and a guy called Danny sort of were left to take care of the club. Kind of sucked. And so me and Ben, every month or so, we'd go to train with Elvis and Anthony, pick up some techniques.
So you weren't doing it every Friday? It was just every so often?
Every probably once a month on average. Sometimes every 2 weeks or so.
Because for those listening, Canberra to Sydney is approximately a 3-hour drive. Yeah. So it's not close.
No,
not remotely.
And we both had jobs and everything, so we had to have those commitments. Mm-hmm. So we do that, and whatever technique, like any technique we got, we came back, we taught it to class. It was like a piece of gold, and we would just drill that to death. drill like crazy. We'd come away with some questions or whatever about it. Go back again a month later, ask that, get the next kind of update, whatever. And at the same time, I was getting some DVDs, like some like just DVDs.
Online wasn't around back then.
Just ordering stuff from whatever website. And
it was they were like back then. I want to say it was like VHS DVD. Yeah, more like VHS was not old.
Actually, that reminds me. The first set I got, which really shaped a lot of my jiu-jitsu for years, was a VHS Mario Sperry.
I was about to say Mario Sperry.
Vale Tudo sets 1, 2, and 3. So it was like 6 videos
Old
each.
School.
And that was something that just gave me like a really broad understanding of like a game plan and like all the positions, how they kind of fit together. And that was like a real moment for me where I started to see like the bigger picture of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Mario Sperry, man.
For those that can hear a bit of a humming in the background, guys, that's our big old air conditioner here in the gym that's struggling in a way. So I apologise for that humming. It's just there's nothing we can do there. It's not your headset. It's our building. Already, man, like you've pretty much shown like that once you get into something, you go all in.
Yeah, it's kind of my trait. I'm super OCD, obsessive. Anything I get into, I just to a detriment sometimes, like to the expense of everything else. I just get fanatical about it, and it pretty much only gets worse from that point on.
Generally, people that do that are successful at what they do, but by any metric, you've definitely been successful. I mean, we probably could sit here and say we wish you were even more successful, but you, like I said, I think you're definitely the most one of the most experienced and sort of widespread or well-adjusted martial artists there is in Australia, like as far as guys that have gone out there. So,
well, thanks, I appreciate that.
What shocks me is as we sit in front of each other, somehow I'm a first-degree black belt and you're sitting here as a brown belt. I never thought that day would come where we were sitting here chatting and I was a first-degree black belt and you were a brown belt. Yeah. We'll get to that, but for those listening, don't just judge how good someone is on their belt colour. Denis is better than 95% of black belts that I'm sure most of you have probably trained with, probably even more than that. And you could have a black belt or should have a black belt around your waist, but we'll get there. I think you're looking at probably achieving that from maybe who you're training with now, and there's certain things that come with that. But just for those, so Denis is not even a black belt yet, which is ridiculous after 19 years of training. Yeah. But it's going to be a sweet day. I'm going to be happy when I hear that news. So you're sort of traveling to Sydney, teaching the little gym back at home. But at some stage, you start to train there more, right? Is that right?
Slightly jumping ahead, but I guess a little bit more often I started, but it was still only like little weekend trips. And then like at the same time back home, like I was just doing jiu-jitsu and then I started kickboxing again. And then I had my first grappling comp, which I won. It was like a Machado, New South Wales state title thing as a white belt. But really quickly I discovered like, man, I don't know how to do takedowns. I just ended up in this disgusting gi gripping battle and I just pulled guard. And once I hit the ground, I'm like, oh, okay, I know where I am now. And I took down some other dudes, but I realized quickly I need to learn wrestling or judo or something. So I heard about a wrestling club nearby, freestyle wrestling place run by a guy called Witold Raylik, a Polish guy, used to be the Polish junior national coach.
This is in Canberra?
Yeah. And he had some good guys. He had some Olympians and stuff that he produced. So I went there with Ben, and I remember thinking like, all right, we'll go there, we'll do the wrestling class, and when we're done, let's do some weights after. And fuck, man, half an hour into this session, I was like, there's no possible way we'd do weights after this. We finished this 2-hour session just broken. We just dragged ourselves to a cafe and just drank coffee and just...
It's fucking brutal, isn't it? Absolutely brutal.
It was just a very eye-opening experience of like how athletic and explosive wrestling was. So then we kind of got hooked on that. And then, I decided, me and Ben, we wanted to fight in MMA. So he started fighting, then I started fighting. And... yeah, then we were just training more often at Elvis and Anthony's, but it was still just weekend trips. Yeah, and then... So
when you say you had a fight, was it striking or was that mixed martial arts?
Yeah, MMA was with XFC. So I had my first pro fight 2004 and won that by TKO in the second round. And I wanted to kind of keep going more with the fighting, but then my wrestling coach he was getting in my ear about... if you can really apply yourself to wrestling, I think you can make the Olympics and stuff. And I kind of went away thinking like, man, you don't hear that often from a good coach.
This is your Polish coach?
Yeah. So I went away, thought about that, and then I came back and told him, like, all right, you tell me what to do, I'll do it. If I got to quit my job, if I got to move overseas, whatever it is, if you think I can do that. So it was 2004, so he was thinking like 2008.
Yep.
So
8 was
Beijing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and then I ended up, not long after that, we had ADCC trials in 2005, and I won the over 100 division, and so
that was in Sydney. That was in Sydney, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I hit a suplex on a dude in the final, which was like the highlight of my life at the time.
Yeah,
that was great. And then in prep for that, Anthony Prosh, he won his Division 2. So I moved down to Sydney. I moved in.
Did he win the division below you?
Yeah. So I moved in with him for like a month, trained with him full time, and that was when I really kind of realized, man, if I have a school or something one day, like, man, I can live this as a lifestyle. What to me then was like this month-long holiday of just awesomeness was Anthony's day-to-day life.
Yep.
So I kind of thought, like, I don't want to do anything else. This is what I want to do. Yeah. So we did that, took off overseas, did the ADCC trial, but actually a bit before that, I went to a wrestling camp in Adelaide, and it was my second time going. I went 2004, and then I went again 2005, and met this little Japanese dude called Toshio Asakura, who was a ex-world champion in freestyle, and he'd also medaled. So he was a world champion freestyle, and he took bronze at the Worlds in Greco, which is unheard of. It's so rare that people like be world class in both styles. So he came and he taught this camp for 2 weeks and saw me, and I was pretty green as a wrestler, but I had talent, So I told him I wanted to move overseas and try and make the Olympics and everything, and then he kind of told me through his broken English that, like, I've got a wrestling school. I'm out here on sabbatical, but I'm moving back to Japan.
Yep.
I am a head coach at like a really good wrestling school. If you can learn Japanese, come pass the test, I'll give you a full scholarship. And I'm like, is this guy for real? Is there something lost in translation here? So
did he train with you and realize your potential?
Yeah, I think so. Just thought I was really keen on it. And I guess like people aren't built like me in Japan, so they kind of looked at me like, holy shit, this big, tall, quick guy. So yeah, I went back to Canberra, and I had a friend who was half Japanese, and I got him to like get on the phone, talk to Toshio, and he's like, yeah, it's legit. He's offering you the scholarship. You just got to learn Japanese.
Wow.
Yeah, which was no small feat.
But from the story I've been told, you learnt it within a very short space of time, past the exam.
Yeah.
Is that right? Sort
of, yeah. So I went away, I was studying like really half-ass, and then I'm a bit of a procrastinator with shit I don't want to do.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'll do it later. I'm at ADCC now, so I lived with Anthony, trained with him. Went and did ADCC, fought Fabricio Verdum in the first round.
Fantastic.
Yeah. He was black belt world champ, and I was a fucking blue belt.
Lovely.
And I managed to go the distance with him.
Really?
I lost. He passed my guard, popped up the knee ride twice.
How did he put you down?
Well, I wanted to take him down, so I was trying to stay standing and stall for the first 5. I'm kind of ashamed of that, but at the time that's what I
like that you're open about it. I like that you're honest.
Yeah, I wasn't happy about it at the time, but they told me, this is what you got to do if you want to win.
Yep.
So I'm just kind of like hand fighting this way, pushing him away, and then with about a minute and a half to go, he starts trying to sit to guard, and I'm just like pushing his palm on his head, moving away, stalling, being a dick. And then he's like...
So the match has gone like 8 minutes at this stage?
So this is in the first half. There's no points.
Gotcha.
So he realizes I want the takedown. So he's trying to like sit down and start the match on the ground. He keeps doing that. Keeps trying to like get hooks in on me. Like that sweep we were talking about before.
He's sneaky as well.
What's that one? The hooks on the...
Double Kuuchi.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
He's trying to do that, and I'm just shoving his head, spinning out of it and stuff. And then he ends up grabbing my wrist. And as I pull away, he comes up into a single, takes me down on a single, and then... We're stuck in half guard for a while, and I'm going to fight in half guard. So points had already started, and points started after the takedown. And he popped up the knee ride once or twice, and then I scrambled. He got turtle. I kind of like did that wrist roll, whatever it's called. Put him back to guard, half guard, then close guard, and then he tried to pass again. I scrambled to my knees to like a single. He sort of went to my back again. I wrist rolled again through.
Was he scoring each time, or you were scrambling?
He wasn't scoring. So he scored early, and then everything after that was like He'd try and pass, go to my knees, like front headlock. He'd try and go behind. I'd wrist roll, put him back to guard, and then after a little bit, he'd try and pass again. I'd go to my knees again. He'd try to get a turtle. I'd wrist roll, and then eventually I caught his hands and just stood up, and then time ran out. So, you know, it was 7-0, not great, but he was black belt world champ at the time, so I was, you know, kind of happy with that.
I mean, do you ever think to yourself, how would a match go now that you've got a lot more experience? I mean, he obviously does as well, but I mean,
I think I actually watched the match the other day and just realizing the positions I was in, realizing I was actually kind of deep in some half guard positions that I'm really comfortable with now. So, I mean, he's awesome. I can't say I'd beat him, but like it'd definitely be a different match now, definitely.
Yeah. So that was 2005 ADCC finals. So, I mean, the Australians got bad draws historically.
Every time, man. It's kind of the way it is. If you win the trials, there's like half the guys win the trials, half the guys are the invited killers. And everyone from the trials, we generally got everyone that was like a defending world champ or soon to be world champ. Yeah, I think it was, I can't remember all the guys, but below me, Anthony got Robert Drysdale.
I got Drysdale.
He got Petapano next time. So Robert Drysdale, and then Larry Papadopoulos got Sal Ribeiro, and then the next guy down got the Brazilian qualifier. So that was 2 qualifiers versus each other. Yeah. And then the next one down, 66, I think. I forget who that was. But everyone gets killers all the time. Yeah.
I mean, in the 2017 ADCC finals, Craig Jones got was it Leandro Lowe he had first? I think it was Leandro Lowe. That was, everyone was like, oh, poor old Craig Jones, the Aussie kid. No, it was good that he made it that far. Yeah. And then just went out there and absolutely smoked him.
Ridiculous.
Popped his knee in half and back choked him. It was beautiful. So,
and then had Murillo Santana next round.
Beat him, triangled him.
Crazy.
I think he only lost in the semis to Keenan, I want to say. Yeah. Which is no small task at all. And if you watch that match, it was actually a very good match too. Yeah. Very interested to watch him coming forward the final.
I think he's in a real good place to medal.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah. I think, and I might, correct me if I'm wrong, but he might be our first guy to actually do that at ADCC.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't think of anyone off the top of my head that's done that. No. So it's currently July 2019, so the finals are in September this year. We'll talk about that in a little bit because that's going to bring a tear to Dennis's eye. Yeah. So, I mean, that's a phenomenal. In 2005, you make I think I just started jiu-jitsu that year, so you'd already gone to the ADCC finals when I started jiu-jitsu, which is crazy.
And that sounds incredible, but like back then, winning the trials wasn't what it is now. I mean, I guess everyone's level was lower.
Yep.
But
there was less people doing it, of course.
There was less people doing it, so it wasn't the most insanely hard thing to do, but it was still like quite an achievement. But to get there and go okay with Verdun was good.
Yeah, he would have had access to plenty of hard training in Brazil and good guys. So, no, most definitely. So, you then at this stage, is this when you go to Japan?
Yeah, so on the way back from that trip, I ended up going to Japan to check out this university because I wanted to see, like, do I really want to commit to this? And I went there and I went there with my half Japanese friend, actually, and we're walking around. We're not really saying much to each other. The coach is talking, and he's, like, just translating to me. My Japanese buddy's just thinking to himself, like, fuck, I've been in Japan. There's usually hot chicks everywhere. This place is just full of athletes. All the girls are wearing tracksuit pants, and like no one looks good. And like, man, Dennis must think this sucks. He came all the way from Australia for this.
And you're from.
Meanwhile, oh shit.
Oh, there goes that camera. Here, let me pull that cord like this. Right. Maybe clear that cord to the other side. Up on. Yeah, there we go. All right. Sorry, guys. Technical issues here. We don't have a huge budget. We're just trying to. That's the second camera we're trying to be able to capture. Yep.
So yeah, he's thinking like, fuck, Dennis come all this way to this fucking university. There's no hot chicks and nothing. Meanwhile, I'm like, there's no girls here. I can focus. There's just pure training. I'll just be day in, day out, just training. This is awesome. I tell him that, and he's like, the fuck's wrong with Dennis? He's crazy.
This is a good spot for you.
Perfect. Yeah, so I did that. Sold on that.
Yeah.
So then I went back, and I used to work for the Federal Police Protective Service at Parliament House. Mm-hmm. So I quit that, which is
a solid job, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a good job. Yeah. And like now I look back and think about it, I'm like, I took some crazy risks. Like I had some good stuff set up, but at the time I was like, no, that's what the shit you retire into. You don't do that when you're young and trying to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I quit that, and I'd saved up a bit of money too because all I did was martial arts, So yeah, didn't have a whole lot of expenses. So quit that, and then I had 3 months until my test. So I got together with the coach, like a tutor, who was a judo black belt actually, really cool guy.
Jeez, you're right. You fall into these good martial arts guys.
Haruki Yoshida. So he
in Canberra.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah,
I've never. There's about 5 people living in Canberra, and
there's some good judo guys.
So far, they're judo wrestling champions.
Yeah. Well, this guy, we didn't do any judo. We just kind of talked martial arts a bit, but I went all out. I lost my mind trying to learn Japanese. So my coach, through his not so good English, couldn't really give me, or even my coach, my tutor who could speak Japanese, couldn't really give us a real indication of where my Japanese needed to be to pass this test. So it's kind of like if someone said, hey, you're going to have a fight next month, and who's the opponent? I don't know. Could be a guy in kindergarten. It could be Mike Tyson. You're like, I better prepare for Mike Tyson. You know? So for 3 months, I would wake up, start studying, doing all my homework and stuff that he'd give me. I would go to tutoring with him. I'd be listening to Japanese audio on the way, lessons. I'd do 2 hours with him. Then I'd go to the gym. At the gym, I'd be listening to Japanese audio stuff, lifting weights.
It's classic Dennis Roberts, just
all in.
Yeah.
Then go home, eat whatever, study some more, go to train, come home, study some more. I would do probably average 10 or more hours of study a day. So I did that for 3 months, 7 days a week.
Jeez.
And then I got there and I just blitzed the exam. Thank God, because I didn't know what the level was going to be.
Written exam?
Written and spoken. So I had to do it was like a full day of testing. Had to do with all the other students, all the Japanese kids, all like wearing suits and stuff.
This is in Japan?
Yeah, in Japan.
So you fly to Japan just to do the exam?
Yeah.
Jesus.
And then I stayed. Actually, I went there, stayed for a week, so I could kind of like talk to everyone, get used to the Japanese with like everyone there, because I was doing just me and the coach, the tutor. And then I did my test, and I stayed for another week and trained, and passed the test. They're all super happy, and then that was the end of 2005, and then start of 2006 I moved there and stayed 4 years there.
4 years.
Yeah, 4 years.
So you're at university there doing that. Do you also get a degree of some type, or you just did wrestling the whole time?
No, I got a degree in like sports, like physical education, kinesiology, something. It's cool we opened this, man. I'm getting hot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This thing's still kind of hot here.
Yeah, it probably is. Yeah, I didn't know if it made it a bit quieter with that buzzing.
Oh really?
That's all right. It's fine.
Yeah, so did that and then started like 4 years of just all out wrestling. And for the most part, I stopped doing jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
There was a jiu-jitsu club called Axis, which was the top jiu-jitsu club. Had Takamasa Watanabe, I think, was the coach there. He was a black belt under Hickson Gracie, and he was a really smart guy. He spoke fluent English, Japanese, and Portuguese. He grew up in Brazil.
Jesus.
Yeah. And he had a bunch of kind of like Japanese, Brazilian guys there that were really good. But I could only make it there very occasionally because of time, just energy. Like I was training, wrestling twice a day, usually 3-4 hours a day of hard wrestling. It wasn't just like dicking around. And then I had class scheduled on top of that, and we'd sometimes train 7 days a week. It wasn't the smartest approach, at least 6 days a week with training. So
do you think that put a lot of miles on your body?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And we did a lot of running, man. And that, definitely put a lot of miles on my body.
I think running, I don't think running's all that good for a lot of us, especially on hard surfaces, let alone a guy who's 6'5", 115, 120.
Yeah. And unfortunately, not knowing any better, not knowing about running form, I was like heel striking, not running on like my forefoot or whatever, my midfoot. So that's added wear and tear, So definitely
that would have smashed your meniscus to bits, you reckon?
Yeah. Over time, I didn't notice anything at the time. Like I would run fast, but and it was getting me fit.
Yep.
It was helping while I was there, but over time that's not good for sure. Yeah. So did my 4 years there, started out...
So while you're there, right, so that's 2005, so
2006 to 2010 I was there.
You would have been right in that prime of, you'd think the Australian wrestling team would have been interested in you for the...
Yeah, so I missed a beat there. In 2006 I won my first national title in freestyle and Greco.
So you came back home to compete?
No, it was before I went.
Before you went,
So
okay.
it was in, I think, February or March. We had nationals, so I won freestyle and Greco. It was the only time I tried to go for Greco too, but I won them both. And
is that just because the pool's small in Greco, you could sort of just cross over without specifically training that?
Yeah, and the way I wrestled, we did a lot of Greco type techniques, so I wasn't really back then like a classically freestyle sort of wrestler. So I did a lot of stuff that and it kind of went like that through a lot of my career, but especially a lot of heavyweights. We do a lot of upper body wrestling, even in freestyle. So it wasn't such a hard thing for me to cross over.
So like, you know how the American style of freestyle is a very crouched over, a lot of explosive shots on the legs, singles and doubles and high crutches.
Yeah.
And then maybe the Russian style is more clinch base, overhooks, underhooks. How would you describe the Japanese style of freestyle?
Japanese style is... It's pretty slick, I think. They're very technical, and they've got a bit more like the European style, where they've got really good leg attacks and stuff. They've got big upper body throws, and you know, a lot of people have a judo background, so you see like a lot of foot sweeps, a lot of uchimata type things. A bit more like a European style than the American style, for sure.
Yep. And how did they do on the world stage generally at wrestling?
The lower weights always are right up there. Like while I was there. So 2004 and 2008 Olympics, I'm pretty sure they got 3 medals in each of those Olympics.
Wow.
1 silver and 2 bronze, I think, while I was there. Yeah. So good.
And they were from your university?
No, not from my university. That's just the national team.
The national team, yeah.
So where are we, this story?
You were saying you won in 2006, you won the nationals?
Yeah. So then I won nationals pretty much every year while I was there. I just kept coming back for those, and I do the tournaments in Japan. And at first, like, I got there and I realized I'm a big athletic guy, a lot of potential, but I didn't have all the skills yet. I had a lot of holes in my game. I mean, I've been doing wrestling a couple of days a week while I was doing boxing, kickboxing, trying to have a MMA career and jiu-jitsu and stuff. And these guys have been doing wrestling since they were little kids, you know, so I had a lot of catching up to do. So I really knuckled down and tried to really bring up my wrestling. So at first I felt sort of far behind, but every year I got better and better. First couple of tournaments I kind of bombed out, but then towards the end I was, the last couple of years I was like number 3 in the country pretty consistently.
In Japan?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and there was a Russian guy and another Japanese guy that were kind of ahead of me there, that were in the collegiate league as well. And the Japanese guy was a good friend of mine, so I'd train with him too. But yeah, it was always us guys, and they would unfortunately always put me with the Russian. I don't think they wanted 2 foreigners in the final, so they'd always put us early.
To knock each other off.
Usually he would win. I think I only beat him one time. He beat me like 3 or 4 times.
And would he win by pin or by
Never
tech
by
fall?
pin. No, I think I only got pinned in the whole career. I got pinned twice. So he would just...
Is that a good... I don't know anything about wrestling.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
not many. I mean, I wish it was 0, but
Yep.
yeah, I got pinned twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that your jiu-jitsu assisted you in any way with that, or not really? Or if anything, it worked against?
I think it probably did, especially more so with once hitting the ground. I think I was a bit better at scrambling and ending up on top. Like, if there are certain throws where, like the judo type of throw, where you would end up not cleanly landing on top, you kind of roll through. But
Anything sacrifice.
Not like that. Maybe like an uchimata type thing where you both kind of roll through. In those sort of situations, I think my jiu-jitsu helped a lot to kind of come out on top.
So speaking about that, on a technical aspect, the reason I like the uchimata as a technique to show all the guys, like right from lower level guys to more experienced guys. Obviously, the only issue that I find is in judo, you get the ippon. That's fine. You throw him, you land the matches over. It doesn't matter where you then end up rolling afterwards.
Yeah.
Obviously, in what we're doing, where it matters afterwards, not just about throwing them. A lot of the time, the guy throwing will actually finish in bottom position because he gets re-rolled. I heard one of Danaher's black belts talking about it. I think it was. I want to say it was Carl Massaro. He's a guy to watch on Instagram, follow on Instagram if you don't follow him already. He's a really smart guy. And he was saying that he actually, for submission grappling, doesn't like to use the uchimata. Not that he doesn't like to use it. If he uses it with a posted hand uchimata. So actually your weight is now distributed onto your arms. So now when you throw them, you don't get the same velocity, but you sort of can't be re-rolled because your base can be out on your hand. What are your thoughts in regards to that?
I think I'd have to see that. I'd have to see that technique exactly to kind of see how that works. But the general idea there, I totally believe in, because like even with freestyle and stuff, there are certain things where someone would hit their back and roll through, but you wouldn't finish in a dominant position or even in any sort of control. Like you both might end up on your feet. So they've got points, but no one's on top or anything. I think actually the folk style is much better because it comes down to who's on top, who finishes the scramble, who gets that takedown, and that's more like MMA and jiu-jitsu, who's actually going to finish in control as opposed to like, great, my back hit the mat, but then I end up on top and I lost the match. Doesn't really make sense to me. Maybe if you're on concrete, that kind of makes sense, but yeah, it's I think the American style is one of the reasons why they do so well in MMA.
Yes,
it's all about scrambling and getting on top, and they have to freestyle, like your back just touches the mat, you're giving up points. But folk style, you can kind of roll through, create these funky scrambles. It doesn't really matter unless you're getting held there. So they end up in all these weird positions where as long as he ends up on top, he's good, which is just like how it should be in a fight, you know? Whoever ends up in control.
I find they become better overall grapplers, I think.
Yeah,
the guys that have come through that folk style system.
Yeah.
So for people listening that don't understand, how would you sort of easily differentiate between, because freestyle wrestling can kind of be broken into two schools, I suppose. There's Olympic level freestyle and then there's folk style, right, that the Americans do through college.
Yeah.
But then there's also Americans who don't do folk style and just do freestyle because they want to compete in the Olympics, for instance.
A lot more rare.
That was Henry Cejudo did that, from my understanding.
Yeah, he did have folk style growing up, but I think very, like in his teens, pretty early, I think he decided just to go pure freestyle. He didn't go to college. Yes. Most guys will go to college. So the rules are quite different there, and it kind of, I can't fully break it down properly. I never actually wrestled folk style. I trained with a bunch of guys and learned a bunch of techniques, but I think every takedown is worth 2. So in freestyle and Greco, kind of like the bigger the throw, the more points you get. So there's more upper body takedowns, but the folk style guys tend to go for what's easiest to get them down. So it's just a lot more like high crutch, double, snap, go behind, those sort of things. Less big throws where it's kind of riskier, but you're getting more points potentially. And then the big difference, I think, is on the ground. In freestyle and Greco, if you're on the bottom defending, the guy's on top trying to like tilt you, get your shoulders sort of exposed to the mat, or to pin you to get points. But in folk style, freestyle, if you after maybe 10, 15 seconds, especially if there's no action, they just stand you up. In folk style, the guy on the bottom, he doesn't get up until he escapes. So the guy on top, he's not allowed to link his hands. Yeah. So he can just hang on with whatever grips and try and like expose your back, just ride you out. And for every minute of ride time he gets an extra point. So they become masters of escaping from the bottom and masters of controlling from the top, but without linked hands. So that's really good for MMA because you can have like one really good tight waist and then your other hand to punch. The freestyle guys are going to generally link their hands, but not so much offense. And the guy on the bottom is going to be like lying flat, which is doesn't really have any much transfer to like MMA or jiu-jitsu or anything. No one's going to lie flat and just try not to get turned. You're going to get to your hands and knees, turn back to guard, try to get to your feet. And that's generally, folk style a lot better for that.
That's sort of along my understandings of it too. And I think thinking about that, like in freestyle is where they'll like leg lace and roll through to score points on rolls. Is that correct? Yeah. Whereas really, I mean, what's the advantage of that?
Nothing.
Like, I mean, for the purpose of wrestling, which is a martial art designed around dominating a guy and putting him on his back or exposing his back to the mat, I see why they score there. But as far as a fight, like when do you ever see a guy like leg lace and rolling? If
you take me down in the street and just leg lace and roll me,
maybe I get run over by a car on the way out, and then
maybe, but like that doesn't. To me, that's not a real fighting technique. That's just something within the rules of that particular style of wrestling.
Yeah.
So the folk style to me is a lot closer to what's going to transfer to MMA and jiu-jitsu.
What style of wrestling do the Dagestanis do?
I don't know if they have any type of their own sort of folk style. Like a lot of countries, like Mongolian and stuff like that. They all have their different
that's a very odd
style.
They got an odd style, don't they?
So I don't know if there's anything like that in Dagestan, but generally they do freestyle more and some Greco.
They seem to produce some ridiculously
killers,
good
man.
wrestling.
Most of the guys you see in like the national team for Russia, most of them are
Dagestan.
like Chechen, Dagestani, whatever.
It's just nothing else to do.
Yeah. And those guys, there's so many wrestlers there, so many good wrestlers there, that these guys will grow up and from, the age of 5 or whatever, they're getting taught by someone who's a absolute killer coach. Whereas, let's say in America, forget here, but like say America, you might have to kind of go through like the youth, whatever, go through school, get to high school, maybe starting to get some better coaching, maybe get recruited to a good college, you get a better coach there, maybe make the national team, finally end up with like this killer coach. But had you had that from the start, that's more like Henry Cejudo. He very early on ended up with really good coaching.
Who was his coach? That's not his coach.
One of the Brand brothers. I don't know when he started with him.
Yeah,
Terry Brands. I forget which one, but it was one of them. Was his coach throughout the Olympics, like 2006, 7, 8, and all that.
Is it easier to win in those lighter divisions like he did? Do you think, like that really little division, or is that what he did still very impressive?
Easier than what?
Than the 74 or 80, 84
no,
kilo.
I think I'd say 70s and 80s is probably where the most talent is at in some ways, because that's kind of the average human size.
Yep.
But those little guys are little ninjas, man. They're killers. I'd say there's no really easy weight to win at. So he won that, I think, at 18 years old. I'm pretty sure.
2004? No, 2008.
2008. Yeah. And the year before, he actually lost in the first round at the World Championships. I was there for that, and he was devastated. And then the next year, he goes and has like 3, 4, whatever barn burner matches where it's like down to the wire, right to the end of the match. Like his coach is having heart attacks and stuff. And then in the final, he won pretty convincingly. But he had a bunch of really crazy matches to get there.
Him and Cormier were on the team together, weren't they?
Yeah.
In 2008.
And who else is there? And also Ben Askren was on that team.
Yeah, was he a folk style guy or a freestyle guy when he came through?
Askren?
Yeah.
I think he'd maybe graduated 2 years earlier, so he had not been wrestling freestyle for that long. Whereas DC he'd been, he was in the 2004 Olympics, and he was wrestling before that too in freestyle for sure. Yeah, he did like junior worlds and stuff too, I think.
It's such a different thing when you move with a good wrestler. Like recently when I was at Henzo's, there was a wrestler there, and he's just there to learn jiu-jitsu. He's a guy shorter than me, probably about 75 kilos, maybe around that sort of range, maybe even tiny bit smaller than that, but pretty stocky dude, completely fucked ears. Anyway, we got partnered up one day, and we're training, and we got chatting, and it was the lunchtime session, so we're doing takedowns to start with, and I'm like, fuck, this guy's moving good. And I'm like, I remember the other boys had told me there was this wrestler in there that was really good, and turns out he was the under 23 world champion. So I think that's a reasonable thing to achieve. Yeah. So he was the world champion, and he'd been recruited by one of the universities that had him on like a full sponsorship. He was getting this like really good money, like 60 plus K a year, just to wrestle with this university. And he told me he literally threw it all away just so he could chase his MMA career. Wow. He decided he wanted to do MMA. He's 20. I want to say he's like 24 now, 25. Yeah. He decided to want to do MMA. Couldn't keep doing that stuff. He had like sponsorship. He had a good thing, and he's doing. He is actually something to do with AKA. I don't know that you would have met him. Richie Savage was. I think he came through briefly. I'm not sure if he was there for long. But yeah, very interesting. Yeah. But just moving with him, like when we're doing the takedowns, is like like the way I feel with jiu-jitsu. That's how he felt with wrestling. It felt tight. Everything was good, and he had just options and flowing. It felt good. Like if I was to clinch and wrestle with this guy, like I'm going to get thrown on my head into a terrible position. Like no matter how hard or whatever I try to do, it's not going to change anything. Yeah, it's like the difference of going with a good black belt. If you haven't experienced that before, it's really impressive. But wrestling's such a huge tool to have in your repertoire. I mean, my only thing is that the damage you have to do to yourself to get to that level is sometimes a point of diminishing returns. Yeah. You know,
it doesn't have to be that way. I think you can have a pretty smart approach. You see a lot of the Russians and Europeans, they don't train as intensely as the Americans and compete all year round and have so much weight cutting and everything. There's definitely ways to do it, and kind of come out a little more technical and a little less of a grinder, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you're at university, 4 years there.
Yeah, and so ended up falling short of the Olympics by one spot. I finished 11th in the world in 2007. I needed to be to top 8 to qualify through Worlds. And then I lost...
So at the World Championships, just to confirm, anyone in the top 8 in the weight class automatically goes to the Olympics.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's I mean, I don't think people...
different, I think, but that's what it was, yeah.
I don't think people realise how difficult... the World Championships in wrestling is nearly as difficult as the Olympics, from my understanding.
I'd say more because there's more people. Like when I was there, I think there was probably 40-something dudes in my division. The Olympics, I think there's only 16 per division. Yeah. So you have more matches to get through. Yeah.
Crazy.
Definitely tough. So yeah, then at the Oceania Championships, actually came down super sick. Hate to even talk about this because it's one of those things that's like, shoulda, coulda, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And I hate to feel like I'm making an excuse or anything, but yeah, so I lost in the final, and so that was that chance gone. Tried to go qualify through a second tournament in Europe and lost there, and so I didn't qualify. I didn't make 2008. Kept wrestling. Kind of considered quitting so I could get back to MMA and jiu-jitsu and stuff, because wrestling is great, but it's quite a grind, you know. I didn't.
And let's be honest. I mean, what's the end game? If the Olympics is not the end game, there's no money. There's really no money to be made, is there?
Yeah. But I decided to stay on. Halfway through my university career, might as well get a degree out of it, you know.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I did that, and then wrestled in the Commonwealth Games. Did my prep in Canada, and ended up coming 4th there. Lost in the bronze match.
So when you say it in Canada, is that which?
In Montreal.
Montreal. And that's the same. That's the same club that George St. Pierre was out of.
Yeah. There's a bunch of good guys out of there.
I heard that's quite a good team.
Yeah.
I think Jaden went there as well.
Yeah, he was there for a bit too. Yeah.
He's for those listening, Jaden Lawrence is one of our current kind of best guys. Commonwealth Games representative as well.
What's his weight now? 70-something?
He's actually at 80. Is it 86? Is that the weight?
I'm not sure.
No, but is that the Olympic weight?
It used to be 84. I think it changed now. I'm not sure.
I think it's 86 now. Yeah, that's what he's at. He's a solid dude.
Yeah.
He's thick. He's got thick legs. And
he was a little kid back in the day when he was going there at first. Yeah.
He's a grown up boy now.
Yeah. So did that, and then came back to Australia, kind of retired from wrestling. Decided.
So just to confirm, we kind of skipped over there. You made the Commonwealth Games team.
Yeah. So I did that. Had to wrestle off against some Iranian guy that was Australian citizen now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he was pretty tough. I think I pinned him at nationals, and then in the first round I pinned him, and then had to wrestle like a best of 3 thing because he was the number 2 guy, I was the number 1. I was a champ. So there was like a wrestle off sort of Commonwealth Games qualifier thing. So I went against him, first match, just perfect game plan as far as his style and stuff that I prepared for. I took him down off a front headlock and then got behind, gut wrenched him, and then the second round, can't remember, but I got to take down him again. So I won that without giving up a point. Then, so that was the first match. Then the second match, got caught in some crazy scramble.
This is against the same guy?
Same Iranian guy. I had to wrestle him like best of 3. First of 2 wins. And in the first round, I got caught in some crazy scramble. He hooked my leg and scored a bunch of points. I just couldn't get out. It was like a Turk ride or something. Almost pinned me. But the round ended and he was huffing and puffing. I was fit, fine. And then second round come out, I get him near the edge of the mat, and I think I went for like a front headlock, like head pinch throw, mess that up. He ends up on top, so I've given up points again. So I'm losing the second round, but he was just gassing out, and then got to my feet, and he was like not able to keep his stance. I'm like tricking, feigning, like snapping him, and he's just stumbling left and right. Took him down straight to his back, like got a body lock on him, just pinned him, and that was that. So won that and qualified. Yeah.
And that's sent you to the Com Games.
Yeah.
And how did you? That was the 2010 Commonwealth Games.
2010. Yeah.
How was that?
So that was good. Could have been better.
Because there's still some strong people don't realize. Like
India, Canada,
the Indians and
the South Africans,
the Africans,
and the Nigerians,
Yep.
and there's some African countries that are pretty tough too. Yeah. So how did I do there? My first match, I had South Africa in the first round, and I beat him, I think 2-0, 2-0 first and second round. Then I went against India, and I'd fought this guy before in 2007. Had 2 matches with this guy and lost, but like it was competitive matches. I'd scored on his up back and forth. But he beat me, I think 1-0, 2-0 or 2-0, 1-0, and just played like a tight game. But then he went to the final against Canada, Arjun Bulla, who's a friend of mine. So because
currently fighting for the UFC, or maybe he's been cut. I'm not sure. Yeah.
I think he's negotiated and gone to a different company, just a better offer. So he didn't get cut. He's good. So if you lose to a finalist in wrestling, you get put back in the repertoire to fight for bronze. So I went back in that, and then I had England, and I beat him, I think 2-0, 1-0 or 2-0, 2-0. And then went against the guy from, I forget, one of the African countries. Big dude. And I won the first round, and then the second round, he got a single, took me down, and then right at the closing, I got like a low single, like a John Smith single. I don't usually do unless I'm like, it's like a Hail Mary. 10 seconds to go, I'm down on points. That's when I'm going to hit that, because people don't expect the heavyweight to go for like a low single. So I shot that, shot in deep, and he tried to like.
And if you like to shoot your low singles, do you post your outside hand? You have your head on the inside of their
head on
knee,
the inside,
and you have like a boot on the back of their heel type thing with you.
And then the other hand posted, head on the inside.
Yes.
And I try
you
to like,
drive out the side of their knee direction.
But back then the way I would do it, usually shouldn't have been my first option, but I would kind of come out the back door.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So that's kind of what I went for. And as I went out for the back door, he tried to grab my body and try and roll me through. He ends up putting himself on his back, and I'm face up holding his leg. And then I come through to get the takedown, and that's it. I win it. So that's two rounds I've won. Should be the bronze. And then they start talking. Then they give him other points saying he exposed my back, which I'm pretty sure, quite sure he didn't. So then they made us wrestle for another round, and it ended up going to a clinch.
What are your coaches saying at this stage? Are they going ballistic?
It was Leonard, I'm pretty sure, and he was mad, but he was just saying, because I was getting pissed off, and he was like, Dennis, just focus, just don't lose your cool, just keep your head about you, just go into the third round, like don't get mad, don't get caught up in that, just wrestle. So third round, went out, and this guy was stalling a good amount, and just trying to play it safe, and then. I didn't get deep in on anything. I was going for a bunch of attacks, and then we ended up going to a tiebreaker clinch. So I got to start on his leg, and the way the rule was back then was, So I would, the second you get in, you grab the hands. The second your hands linked,
they can go.
They would blow the whistle, and you would go. So I went, linked, and the guy I think blew the whistle, and I went, and then he said, no, that was too fast, and what's going on here? So. Then went again, and then I linked my hands, and he's just not blowing the whistle. I'm thinking, this guy's trying to fuck me. He wants me to go. So I'm waiting, and I kind of like to stop and just look at him. And then as I'm looking at him, he blows the whistle. The guy sprawls his leg out. I try to go to his back. I lose the grip. He gets out. I shoot a shot. He gets a front headlock, and then time runs out, and then he won the bronze. I'm pretty sure that was my bronze, though. I was pretty pissed off about that.
Why do you think they fucked you over? Do you think there was a reason behind it?
I think because if there is a reason, I'm kind of... I got no proof, but if I could think of a reason, and some people might think I actually lost that match. I don't think everyone thought it was a robbery, but I thought it was. And I think most people thought it was. A bunch of Aussies had already won, and I think it's good for wrestling, good for the Commonwealth if different countries medal, because then, like, say that guy gets to go home, have his medals, show all the people, that boosts interest in wrestling in his country, and then hopefully. Worldwide, that's kind of growing the sport.
So you think things like that happen?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, that's.
I got no proof. This is kind of my theory. Yeah.
Did Jaden medal at those Com games or not?
I don't think he actually was in that one.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And Leonard was in my
corner. Yeah.
He was the coach.
Yeah.
Wow. So for those that don't know, Leonard coaches here in Sydney. Everyone who comes to me that wants to do wrestling, I just tell them to go to Sydney Uni and train with Leonard.
Yeah, he's solid.
That's where all the good guys are pretty much going at this stage. Sydney Uni on a Saturday night. Those that want to do wrestling. So he's legitimate. Leonard's legitimate.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I hear. And I've seen, Ethan Thomas out of this gym here. He's phenomenal with his wrestling. Another buddy of mine, he's out of there, and the level seems to be very technical.
Yeah. Hey, so to backtrack a little, if we are going to go on the timeline, in 2009, I actually won ADCC trials again.
Oh, Jesus, we jumped that.
2007, I didn't go for it because I thought I had to do a certain tournament that was like the first of a bunch that I had to do to qualify. Turned out I didn't, so I could have maybe gone for it, but I didn't, whatever.
And you're in Japan at this stage, right? So,
yeah.
So you're not doing as much jiu-jitsu?
Very occasionally. I go there like maybe once a month on average. Sometimes I wouldn't go for 4 months. Sometimes I go 4 times in 1 month, you know?
Okay.
So it just depended on how I felt and how the tournaments were and stuff. So in 2009, it was the day after Nationals actually. I had wrestling Nationals, and the next day we had ADCC trials, and I had just done wrestling. And I don't even know what I was thinking.
But look, let's be honest. That's not a bad thing to have for ADCC.
No, it's not.
If you were going into a straight out submission grappling match, you go, maybe this is going to be bad. But ADCC, I'd rather be a good wrestler than just be a good submission guy.
Yeah, so it's not like I'd forgotten my jiu-jitsu. I got my purple belt before I went to Japan, and I had trained here and there, so I still had some skills in it, just a bit rusty.
So you got your purple belt in 2006?
Right at the start of 2006, yeah.
We're currently in 2019, and you got a brown belt.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just trying to do the numbers here. Something doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Okay. Yeah. You're either a complete retard and haven't been able to work anything out. There's something going on here.
Yeah, something went on. I don't know. So the day after Nationals, we had the ADCC trials, and I did that. And I think first round, I beat a guy actually from Canberra. I beat him by Kimura in a couple minutes. Passed his guard, beat him with that. Second round, I had Big Mick Wilson. You remember that guy?
Yeah, massive. Huge, big white guy.
Yeah, big black belt guy. So I had him and just ended up, he was attacking a lot from the bottom. He pulled guard, but he made the mistake of, we disengaged and he tried to come up, and I think I snapped the front headlock, and then he went back and got a minus, and this happened twice. He got 2 minus points for pulling guard in the points period. So I beat him like -2 to 0. Mm-hmm. So I never actually scored, but I was on front headlocks and he tried to pull guard, and he got minuses. And that put me in the final against his rival, a guy called Graham something or other, I think.
It was like Wahira. He
was like an Islander guy.
Like half Maori fella or something.
Yeah, big athletic.
He was good. He was solid. Yeah,
he was. I don't know what happened to him, but he was good. So I had him in the final, took him down, was stuck in his guard for a bit, passed his guard, got the side. He like turtled and I got one hook in, and then I got like a twister, like a lockdown, what do you call it? Like the truck, whatever, right?
Yep.
And his coach, I forget which, Marcelo Rosendo or something.
John Danaher would call it a cross body ride.
Yes, cross body ride, maybe more correct.
With an inside scorpion.
All right, that's the one.
Let's not use those heathen test planet names.
Yeah. So I ended up there, and like the normal back escape, you try and get you back to the mat, and
doesn't work well.
It's the absolute opposite thing to do if you're in that position. And his coach was telling him, his black belt coach was telling him, back to the mat, get your head away. So
he was a Baja guy from memory.
I
want to say.
Forget if it was Marcelo Rosendo or whatever his coach.
You would have just slid your arm under his neck and said thank you.
Well, I hooked his arm, went under his arm, and then under his neck, around his arm, under his neck, and finishing with a twister, which was,
I'm
super
just going
happy.
to shut this door because I feel like someone's coming in.
Yeah, it's getting a bit cooler.
Just because I think people are coming in. Oh. Yeah, keep going.
All right, so finishing with a twister, and which was a lot of redemption for me to do that, because for years I've been doing the twister. I saw someone, what's his name? I wish I remember this guy's name. There was a guy that came out for a seminar, one of John Will's friends. He'd trained with Eddie Bravo. He showed like the advanced class way back in 2002. He showed all these guys after nationals the twister, and I was a white belt. I wasn't allowed to go to this seminar, but I watched it. And I remember thinking at the time, like, the fuck, this is tricky ass 50 step. It was like from side control and then twister roll, and it's just the most ridiculous looking technique I've ever seen. This is what I need to know. But I didn't think that. I was like, that looks like ridiculous, but it stuck in my head somehow. And then over time, I'd do it more and more. And my friends were like, that's bullshit. That's just garbage. And like, what is that? Even though I tap with them, that's stupid. So then to finally win the ADCC trials with it was, that was redemption. Yeah. Got to shut them up finally.
I mean, that's still a good effort. So then you made it to the finals. Who'd you get at the finals at?
Hummel Overhaul.
Lovely. Lovely.
And unfortunately, it was a week after university nationals. So again, I'd done like no jiu-jitsu, and I could win the Oceania trials on wrestling, not a lot of jiu-jitsu, but I'm not about to win the actual world championships. Yeah.
Their guards are a lot better than. So what, Hamlo was at heavyweight then, was he?
Yeah, he was. He moved up for some reason.
Must have been on the good Brazilian paddock.
Yeah,
He must have been.
He wasn't that massive. It was pretty much like he is now. I think he just decided to go up a weight division.
Yeah, I was going to say he's not quite like he's not your traditional butch exercise.
No,
heavyweight.
No. But
so you got a good draw once again. So you can come on.
Yeah, as to be expected, you know. So he, I talked to Hodger Gracie. I trained a little bit before. And said, hey, what do you know about this guy? And he goes, he's got awesome leg locks and he's definitely going to pull guards. I'm like, damn it. Fantastic. I wonder someone's going to try to wrestle me. Fuck. I don't know leg lock defense that good. So.
Lovely.
And lo and behold, he pulled guard. And then from like butterfly guard, he like loaded me up and tried to like attack a heel hook from like an outside ashi, whatever you
I mean,
call it.
by today's standards, it probably wasn't anything spectacular, but I'm sure by 2010 is it?
2009.
I mean, by 2009 standards, it was probably, fucking,
if Hodger says he's got good leg locks, then back then he had good leg locks. So, yeah. And
do you think Hodger knows what good leg locks are? He is Hodger Gracie.
Yeah,
I'm not saying.
Not like now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but I can't argue with that guy.
No.
So he went for a heel, and I grabbed his wrist to stop him getting a bite on it, and I flicked my foot from outside actually to the inside, and then kind of like hipped towards him, almost like a north-south position, and then he kind of inverted, tried to go for a knee bar. And then I rolled and got my foot on his butt, kicked out of that. I'm thinking, sweet, I'm out.
Like, I'm the man, I'm escaping all these.
Then he just put me right back into another fucking leg lock. Like, as soon as we engaged, he did it again.
Yeah.
And then he got a bite on it, and I tried to roll out of it, and he switched it to a knee bar. And then I twisted, not realizing that he'd held my heel stuck. So I kind of twisted my own knee. That was just a rookie mistake for me, because I really wasn't doing any leg locks back then, hardly.
Well, absolutely nobody here was. I'd started playing around with him at that stage, but I was a blue belt in 2009. You and I went train, and my level, it's disgusting how low it was. And I was one of the guys that was actually trying to do leg locks then.
And at the time, like I thought I was a bit ahead of the game, not like him. And I was wrestling a lot, but I used to like doing leg locks and that. But man, I didn't know shit. I still kind of don't, you know.
It's it's got to a point now where it's. Man, unless you're training with these guys who are right at the pointy end of the spear, you may as well fucking not even bother.
Yeah.
You may as well not even bother.
Well, you should, though. Should bother.
Well, yeah, but you've got to get that access to information.
Yeah.
That's why you and I are always talking. But it's just so in-depth. If you just think, I'll be right, I'll just kind of... I'll make it work. You just keep falling into more traps. Yep. You know that... It's like that cartoon where he steps on one rake, but then there's like there's like 100 other ones around.
That was me right there.
Like
I thought I was done with that one rake, and then fucking right in the face again.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so that was the backtrack to that. So then so after to go forward again, Commonwealth Games. I was in the last wrestling tournament. And then I decided, all right, time to get to MMA. So I'm going to get back to boxing. So I did some kickboxing stuff before, and I did some boxing with a guy called Steve Rudick, who was at the time
the mayor of Canberra, I call him.
He was the national champ. So he went to Commonwealth Games. He got a bronze in 2006 for boxing.
Yep.
And then I came back, and he was
actually our boxing coach here at Sydney West Martial Arts for a little bit.
Fat Steve.
He's the man.
He's a dickhead.
He's the best guy in the whole world.
He's the worst. So I started boxing with him, and then his training partner Alexi, who was the current national champ. So I pretty much jumped in with the two top Olympic style boxers in the country, and I started training with them like 5-6 days a week. Just went all out with boxing. Then I fell in love with that. Really did that, and then
because Steve's got quite a technical style of boxing as well.
Yeah, he learned from Gary Hamilton, who's got a really technical style, good European style. So did a bunch of boxing with them. Had one boxing fight, and then went over to America. And sort of went to a few different gyms, the American Top Team, American Kickboxing Academy and stuff, trained with a few people to see where I wanted to base myself out of, to really try and make it go.
Because you were definitely an interesting prospect for these guys. If you look at your resume between your wrestling, being an Australian, but then your ADCC run a few times, like you were definitely an interesting prospect for these guys. Yeah, and you still only had one fight at this stage, right?
I only had one fight. Went over there and I tried out with these teams, and I went to AKA and just hit it off with the guys there. Had to try it there. They chucked me right in with DC for like 3 rounds in a cage with Crazy Bob in there kind of reffing it. I didn't know, but it was my tryout.
Mm.
And then as soon as we were done, they're like, all right, you're on the team. That was awesome. Sweet. Awesome. You're in.
How did that go down? Did you just beat the fuck out of you for, was it
actually-
3-5s or
that
3?
was probably one of the closest sparring rounds we ever had.
Oh, really?
It was really good. Like when we finished, he went to his corner and said, who won? And this
really?
was 2 weeks before he fought Bigfoot for the first time in the Strikeforce tournament. So they were really happy with me. Like he got, like, you know, we're standing, whatever. I'm a bit longer, so I could kind of like use my range, jab, and then he went for a shot and I sprawled and I got behind him, and then I ended up going, I tried to go from side control to mount and he bucked and got me off. Then he took me down with a big high crutch. But on the bottom, I did like a wrist roll, got him over. I did like a deep half sweep.
It's a good effort, the wrist roll Cormier, because you'd think his base would be
it's a wrestling move.
very impressive.
It's a move that I've always loved doing. So
Yeah.
I do that well. I've done to a lot of people.
Do you think your length makes you be more efficient? For some reason, it makes you more effective at that. You can, maybe the length of your femurs, because they're so long, when you actually sit knee to knee to your hip, maybe you create extra rotation.
I don't know what it is, but when I do go, I feel it's a really
drags guys
really
through.
fast drop and spin.
Mm.
So I've done it to a lot of good guys. So yeah, had a good round with him, 3 rounds, and then kind of got accepted onto the team. And then went away, got my visa sorted, had another fight, won that here, and then went back over there. Decided I was going to start my fight career, and didn't quite pan out because it was a little bit of lazy management, and I just was training and kind of like there was a fight and then it would fall through. I got one fight after a couple of months, and I thought, sweet, if I get a fight every few months, that'd be perfect. I was going to be there for 10 months, and then, you know, DC would have a camp. I'd be there to help him, waiting to get my fight, whatever. Nothing would kind of, like, something would almost happen and it would fall through.
Do you think, I mean, I remember you telling me years ago that on the local scene, guys that hear, oh, this guy's out of AKA,
especially if you're a heavyweight.
Because they're like, look, this is going to not look good on my record. He's going to probably beat me
No
up.
one wants to fight a guy coming up who's like a training partner of Kane and DC, you know?
Yeah.
So definitely that played a factor.
But at this whole time, you're working hard in the training room and putting miles on yourself.
I went over there already in shape. I was training hard, and, you know, Kane would go through a full camp. I'd be there right by his side doing all the rounds and stuff. And then he would kind of drop off. DC go through a full camp. I'd be right there. And then, you know, I'm just peaking. I'm redlining. And my body started to, you know, feel it. And then I ended up switching management, getting a fight. But I was really run down. And then before a debut fight with King of the Cage, I tore my labrum in my shoulder. Had to have surgery. So that sucked. So I came back to Australia.
So how does that work? Could you get operated in the States, or
I did
it makes
in
more
the
sense
States.
to come back to Australia?
I had it done there. Had a good deal with the surgeon guy there, hooked me up pretty good.
Right.
So I did that, had the surgery, and then went back over there, and then I was, you know, starting to rehab back from that. It was at the 6-7 month mark, and then I had to get a knee surgery. The knee surgery went fucking terrible.
So this was meniscus, right?
Meniscus and microfractures to my femoral head, where I'd like worn it down from years and years of.
You think the Japanese running?
The running fucked me, because I had a torn meniscus and I was still running and stuff. You know, it was stupid. You know, a good thing about me is I got a good work ethic. It's also a bad thing because it's too much sometimes. So I did that.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. How much thicker can your meniscus be than anyone else's? But you're 110 to 20 kilos.
Yeah.
That has to just beat it up quicker, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There's more weight. Gravity works the same with you as it does with me.
Worse, I'm heavier.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. But the good thing that happened at that time was I met my now wife, Jess. She was over there, so I met her.
Best thing that ever happened here?
Well, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. So I met her. We ended up getting married. So I was in my wedding on crutches.
Lovely.
Yeah, hobbling around.
I mean, that's you. That's you. If you were going to script it, that'd be you, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you couldn't script it any better, to be honest. Comical misfortune.
Yes.
Yeah. But so that was a great thing. But then that knee surgery screwed me. So from 2014, 15, 16, half of 17, for like 3 years. You were just never right, were you? Yeah, it just never was right. I was walking in pain. I went from like feeling on top of the world to, my shoulder came pretty good, but I would, most of the time, if I was walking or standing, it hurt. And I'm thinking, I can't. You know, for a while it started to come good. I started to box a lot again, and then it sort of started to go backwards. And
did they repair that, or did they take it out?
They did something. So they took out the meniscus, but they did something called microfractures to the femoral head, where they cut it back to bare bone. They puncture holes in the bone, little microfractures, and then that bone marrow bleeds out. And then the stem cells from the bone marrow are supposed to make like a scar tissue sort of cartilage.
Was that so? Because you don't hear of that a lot. Was that like something that was a bit of a new thing?
No, it's been around for a bit, but it's just not the best. And I had like a pretty big hole to be trying to fix like that, and they didn't see it going in on the MRI, so it was a bit of a surprise to them.
Okay.
They could have maybe had a better approach had they seen it coming.
Yep.
But they didn't. And yeah, so
they've opened up, gone, oh fuck, and then just gone, well, let's just do what we can.
Yeah, so I thought they were going to trim my meniscus and I'll be back in like 5 weeks. And then instead it was like 3 years of pain and not really being able to train right. And
so were they doing an arthroscope initially?
Yeah.
And then they
didn't open me up. They still did it all.
They still did everything from okay, right.
Yeah. So they did that.
So that should have been a quick turnaround because
should have been. That's what I was expecting.
Everyone that's doing a scope, it's like you're going to walk out of hospital a few weeks. It's the guys who have to get it. Jason Rao just had his repaired, and that's been about 6 months. Yeah. But it takes time for it to repair. Yeah. But yeah, that scope should have been like a quick.
Should have been. So that was a disaster. That pretty much, I hung on to this MMA career for a couple more years, thinking I'll get better. Had a second surgery trying to fix it. Had a whole bunch of stem cells pumped in there. Things ended up getting better, but never got to the point that I felt really comfortable doing a lot of quick footwork in a tall stance. If I bend down into wrestling, it doesn't really line up with that damaged area, so I can do it. So after like 3 years of all that stuff, I started getting some improvement from the stem cells from the second surgery on my knee, and then started making my way back into jiu-jitsu, and I started training at Caio Terra Academy, and then everything kind of changed. That was a real turning point for me.
So you'd spent, I want to say it was about 5 years at AKA. Is that fair to say?
2000,
including injury time.
2011 was when I tried out. 2012 was when I moved there. 2014 was when I had that bad surgery. So I was there all like 2013, and I was there on and off. I was coaching there for a little bit, teaching classes and stuff. I was doing some training, but it was really minimal because I had a lot of pain in this knee. Yeah. So
they must have been frustrated too because they could see that. I mean, you should have been a UFC fighter. I know, I know, should have, could have, would have, but you should have been. I think with your skill set and your work, you should have been.
I think so. I think
your body just let you down.
I let my body down too. I gotta take ownership for overtraining and doing some shit that I shouldn't have. But you don't know what you don't know. So I didn't know at the time that heel striking was the wrong way to run. That I shouldn't be running like crazy as a heavyweight. That I shouldn't be training red line all year round. And some people would tell me, hey, kind of overtraining me. Yeah, whatever. I got it. This is how I got
I'll be right, pussy. I'll keep pushing.
Pretty much. But your age starts to catch up with you. The miles start to add up. I should have. That was my mistake. So I got to wear that.
So you kind of make like a mental decision there of, I mean, I don't even know yet. You've officially kind of given up on MMA being a thing? Yeah,
that was 2014, 15. It was like 16 or partway through 16 where I finally was like, fuck it. This is not happening. I just want to walk without pain, forget the fucking fighting, it's not going to happen.
So you ended up with 3 or 4 pro fights at the end?
Yeah.
Want to say 3?
3 pro fights, 1 boxing fight.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So put that away, coached a little bit, like I helped Todd Duffy a little bit. He helped me too. He was that was a back and forth thing, but I just happened to corner him.
But I mean, you were in the training room with literally the best guys in the world.
Yeah,
you're in the training room.
Kane and DC every day. I was butting heads of those guys, learning from them.
John Fitch.
Yeah, all those guys.
Khabib.
Yeah, he was there. Man, when I first met him, he was just like this little no-name Russian dude. Yeah. Funny little guy, bad English, but he was a killer. Back then, he was a killer. Like, I knew this guy was special.
So he's been in an interview. He said he'd never been tapped out. He's even saying in the gym, he's never. How do you train wrestling and grappling and never get tapped out? Did you ever see?
Well, that's weird because I tapped him out.
Okay,
I'm kidding. That never happened. That never happened.
The Dagestani's going to be out here.
That never happened. Okay. Yeah, I never saw him get tapped out.
Dennis is winking at me now. You can't see.
No. You can see. Don't edit that out. So yeah, he was a killer back then. Yeah. I don't know if that's true or not.
But I mean, he's one of the only guys I would maybe believe it. But like, how do you go from being a white belt effectively all the way through to where he's at and not get tapped out by someone?
I almost can't believe it. He does joke and stuff.
Maybe
so hopefully,
I don't know.
Hopefully that's what it is. Doesn't make sense otherwise.
I've never heard of anybody that could do that. But anyway,
yeah. So yeah, I was surrounded by these killer guys, and then that was where I got exposed to the folk style stuff. Because I tell you what, it was such a rude awakening for me. The first few times I trained with Kane, he was the heavyweight champion at the time, and there were certain things where like he would turtle up, and I'm like, man, I'm about to choke out the UFC champ. He's turtled up. This is mistake number one, and then he's over there. He's like 5 meters away. What the fuck just happened? What on earth? He just broke all the rules in jiu-jitsu and lived. This can't be right. Do it again. He kept getting away. I didn't understand the folk style escapes. I didn't understand how he was getting up but controlling my hands
fight and they stuff
and
it,
his hip positioning and all the things he was doing to stop me getting my hooks in. And so I did a lot of work with him, and he's a good dude. He's a guy that will give. You know, he's not like a selfish.
He does seem like a good guy.
Yeah, he is. He really
actually doesn't. I think a lot of people don't get to know him well because he doesn't really do a lot of media. And he doesn't want to.
He's a bit shy and quiet. Like, he doesn't open up quickly. Once he does, it's super cool. He jokes around and stuff. Good dude. I got a lot of respect for that guy. But, you know, to be a world champ, and then I ask him a question, he just sits down and just starts throwing all these techniques at me. And I'm there after just writing everything down, just notes and trying to master all this stuff. Yeah, I learned a lot.
And he still might be... He never quite got to reach it, but he still might be the best heavyweight ever.
In my opinion, healthy Kane is the best heavyweight ever. Yep. I've seen what he can do to people. Man, I could do a whole podcast just talking about the rounds he did. I'll tell you the first experience I had with him, actually training properly hard with him, was he was preparing for Junior Dos Santos 2, the second one, so he lost the first one by knockout. So he's in the black room, which is like the cage room where you do the hard sparring with the coaches there and everything. The other room, the red rooms, where everyone's kind of like just a whole group of people just changing every round. So he's in there, and he's got 4 people. He had 4 fresh people. 5, sorry. I was the 5th round. He's in there for 5 rounds. I get in there. I'm the 5th round.
Were you licking your chops thinking this will be my... No,
not entirely. I was thinking this guy's a killer.
Yeah.
So I get in there for the 5th round, and I left more tired than him. Not just because he's a cardio freak, he is, but he's got this style where he's always in your face. He never lets you relax for a second. He's constantly... You think he's going to punch you in the face, he's on your legs. You think he's going to go for the takedown, he's punching you in the face. He takes you down, it's impossible to get up. You take him down, he's up on his feet in a second. I would spend more energy taking him down than it took for him to get back to his feet. And I just thought, like, well, why bother? It's losing me the fight to try and take him down.
I think...
I'm a freak.
I think the best mixed martial artists aren't necessarily brilliant in any one area, but their timing between choosing which option is like the difference between an old stick shift where it takes like 3 seconds to shift, or like a new Ferrari with a paddle gearbox where it's like next gear.
Well, we would do sometimes pure boxing rounds, and I would go really good with him. Apart from his cardio being better,
his volume
technically would be good. Later rounds would be a bit tougher. If we would just do pure wrestling, it was pretty back and forth. If we did pure jiu-jitsu, I think he was better, but it was still pretty competitive. But you put those things together, he was on another level. It was just seamless between. He just got it. And I heard that, like, from day one, that's how he was. He just got it.
Is it? It's not even a learnt thing. It's some guys that got this.
Yeah, he just...
I mean, they say George St. Pierre's the same way.
Yeah.
He's not really a standout in any one area, but his ability to choose the right answer for that particular moment in time while you're thinking of a different question.
Timing, because I've seen George in the wrestling room. He's pretty good. But you put gloves on and people in a high stance, he just blasts everyone. It's another game entirely. You know, like him and Koscheck, he shouldn't have lost. In pure wrestling, Koscheck probably would have beat him, but standing up, he took him down every time. Koscheck couldn't get him down. You know. Yeah. So that was Kane and DC. Yeah, a bunch of good guys in that room.
Oh, yeah. I remember seeing DC come through. He actually, very early in his career, came out to Australia here, and he fought on a show that was run by some gangsters out here. I think I remember. It never existed long. It had two things. They pumped a bunch of money, and it had
fought Soa, and he
had some big names. And he fought Big Daddy Lucas Brown, who was a heavyweight boxer, and I sat in the front row, and I'd heard, because I was into MMA like a nerd back then, like I am now, and no one else knew. MMA wasn't very... It was about 2010. And I'm like... And I'm saying to people, watch this dude. Because this little sort of fat looking American dude. And people are like, the fuck? That guy? And they're like, Big Daddy Lucas Brown's this big tattoo guy. And everyone's like, he's going to knock him out. I said, watch this dude. Yeah. And he took him down and he elbowed his face nearly completely off his body. Like the scar this dude had was all the way down like half. It was horrendous. It did it in like no time too. Just played with him.
Now, I knew DC because I'd been watching him wrestle for years. You know, I was there at the 2007... World Championships when he took a bronze, and I'd watched him. He lost the bronze match in 2004 Olympics. I knew
he was cutting too much weight back then too, I think, wasn't he?
Less than to get to light heavy. He was only cutting
but I think he was heavier, or like he was not as in the shape, or as
I think he was
maybe
in better
as healthy.
shape back then.
Really?
Yeah, and he was only cutting to 2000
96 was the weight division, I think.
pounds, so not as much as 205. Yeah. So I wasn't surprised by him being a freak for sure.
Yeah,
and he was, man, like. Little short guy that could somehow land punches on you and just jump in and is always on your legs and good pressure.
Is he particularly strong? He looks strong.
His hips are super strong.
Yeah,
like
his ability to get underneath you.
Yeah, his hips are. You look at the size of his ass, massive. Like it's all muscle. He's a strong dude. He's real wide. He's strong everywhere, but his hips especially, real explosive.
Yeah, like if he's on a high crutch, he's hard to deal with, right?
Yeah, he's going to launch you.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
And
his series he has a series of about 4 or 5 things he does, and it's just no matter which way you lean, he's going to dump
pressure into the lift, high crotch, and dump you over. Yeah, and it's seamless. He chain wrestles those together so quickly.
So you move from, you kind of make that decision. Look, this is not working. Then you move to Caio Terra Academy.
Yeah, and I started training there, and my knee was so bad, man. At first, I was like, God, if I can just drill every day, if I can just drill, I'll be really happy. And then the stem cells and the second surgery started kind of working out. Getting better, and then so I started training there, and then Yuri Samoas, he was there, and I started training with him a bunch. We hit it off, and the competition team there was the best bunch of guys, man. It still is, just awesome guys.
Caio's very big about the team aspect.
Yeah, and a lot of etiquette. Yeah. There's a lot of etiquette there, which I think goes a long way, especially when there's like AK is a lot of testosterone fueled.
A lot of alphas.
Yeah, people are going to butt heads. At this place, you kind of kept in check in some ways. A lot of etiquette and stuff, a lot of rules. And you got Yuri there to kind of keep everyone in check too. He's a bit of an enforcer. So went there, and then Yuri, he won the 2017 ADCC trials, and my knee started getting better. And I thought, man, maybe I can go for the 2019 ones. That'd be sweet. So then started competing again, thinking I wouldn't be able to do it. Came second at the US Open. Then did brown belt worlds, came second at that, lost a ref decision to Devontae, I can't remember his second name. He's now the black belt world champ at Nogi.
Sounds like he's out of Lord Irvin.
Devontae Johnson? No, he's out of Unity. Black dude.
Yeah, I assume that with the name Deontay, but no, I don't know which one he is.
So I lost him, and then went to gi worlds. And I never really did much gi, so I practiced, did like a proper 8-10 weeks in the gi. Came third there at the IBJJF Worlds,
which is a massive achievement for those listening to. No matter whether it's a brown, black, whatever, like just to medal there, because the realistic thing, the guys that are medaling at the brown belt worlds are probably better than a lot of black belts that are getting around a lot of clubs. That's the reality.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Especially like competitive guys. Your average black belt is totally different level, for sure. Yeah. So I went there and I lost by 2 points to Victor Hugo, who just got double Grand Slam. So he won double gold at Worlds, Brazilian Nationals, Europeans, and Pan Americans.
So he's not bad.
Yeah, he's solid. And then he just beat the number 2 black belt in the world in Russia. So he's going to be great. So I lost by 2 points to him on a sweep. I swept him back, but then he stood up and ran out of bounds, and I got an advantage for that. Then Nogi Worlds, I ended up losing him again by 2 points on a sweep. And then comes ADCC trials. So first one was supposed to be in Kazakhstan. I was halfway there and landed in Turkey. My phone blew up, and then I found out the tournament had been cancelled. So I cancelled the rest of my trip.
Believe that.
And then found out that it wasn't cancelled, but they were only giving away one ticket. But I'd already cancelled the flight was already gone.
It was a complete.
Fuck, that was a shit show.
It was so bad. Hopefully, it doesn't go back to Kazakhstan again. Yeah. I'm really hoping
really hoping.
I think Australia might get it next time. Next year, yeah.
So that didn't happen, and then.
So that left you with the second trials for our region, which was the Japanese trials.
Japan, right? Which I was really happy about because I wanted to go back to Japan, bring my wife with me, and I really wanted to show her. So her parents were Taiwanese. She grew up in America, but her mom remarried to a Japanese American guy. So she grew up with a Japanese culture and stuff. And I speak Japanese. Her family loved my ass. It was really cool. I was this big white guy that speaks Japanese. So yeah, I got to bring her to Japan with me. That was super cool. And yeah, so I had the trials there. First match had a Japanese dude, took him down, passed his guard, Kimura'd him. Second round had a big Kazakhstan guy, maybe Chechen, I forget his name, but he got double bronze at Europeans. He lost to Victor Hugo too.
Yep.
And
he looked solid.
He was solid, man. He was good. Legit proper jiu-jitsu. I think he's a bit better in the gi, but he was really tough. So I was trying to pass his guard the whole time. He was trying to go for arm drags, arm platters and stuff. And then we went to full time, no points. But then we started on our feet, advantage to me. So I took him down 2-0. And then he made a mistake of, as I backed off, he stood up again. He should have butt scooted towards me.
Of course.
And then I took him down, lifted him up, put him to side control. So landing on side control. They call it a
clean takedown.
Yeah,
they give you
so that
4,
gave me 4 points. So then I won. He actually ended up, I tried to pass his guard and he put me in a high elbow guillotine. I spun out of it. And then he half took my back with one hook in. So I ended up finishing the match with him half my back defending my neck. But he didn't get points for that.
You already had enough points for that.
Yeah, so I won that 6-0. And then that put me in the final with, what's his name?
Daniel Schwartz.
Daniel Schwartz.
Schwartz.
So
young up-and-coming kid from Absolute.
You were telling me about
He's
leg locking everyone.
I think he'll be the future at that weight, I think. Yeah.
Yep. So I went with him. He was strong. End up in I took him down quick. I didn't want to fuck around trying to wait for the points up. I just thought, I'm just going to go for it from the start.
Yeah.
So... try to go for the sub, try and get dominant position, try to tire him out, whatever. I'm just going to go for it. No more of that stalling crap that I did once. And, sold my soul to do that. So, took him down, ended up in his, knee shield, Z-guard, whatever.
Which is his,
3 minutes or so.
His position,
And I was very defensive there, trying to just not let him get anything. He ended up stuffing my head and kind of scooting around to the back with this kind of Kimura grip. Almost, I thought, was going to get me in a face-down crucifix. So, I pulled my arm out and I did a wrist roll again. But then my right arm was on the outside, so I ended up in almost like a T Kimura.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we ended up going to knees again. I rolled him through again, and this time I sat up and ended up in kind of like a double leg position, and I sat him up. So I was down on his legs and put him into a smash pass position. Spent most of the match with him turtled and me trying to break him down, doing a bunch of folk style sort of rides. Tilting him, turning him this way, trying to roll through to guard. I'd put him back to turtle, and then he tried to roll through, and I put him to a smash pass position, and got double underhooks and did a dope mount with about 30 seconds to go.
That's where you racked up the points.
So I got my 3 points there, held mounts until.
Okay, sorry guys, we just had a major meltdown with my gear here. Joe Rogan has young Jamie helping him with his podcast, and I have young Luke who is also trying to talk to people. So, sorry, Dennis, I apologise, mate.
All good, all good.
While all this has happened, it's got into the time of the afternoon where the kids' class has started, so we've got 1,000 kids out there running around. So everything's happening at once.
Sound quality.
But it's all good. We started talking. I'm pretty sure that we just lost our recording when we were talking about you winning against Daniel Schwartz. Dope mount, passed, got the points. That was right where we got to, and then
rode him on turtle. He tried to turn to guard.
Yep.
I kind of put him to a smash pass. Got double underhooks. Dope mounted. So went to mount from the smash pass. 30 seconds to go. Got my 3 points. Held mount, and so won the trials, and I got to get up and.
So good.
Point at my wife and then run over to her once I raised my hand.
Did you cry?
Did I cry?
Did a tear come out?
No tears,
okay.
No tears.
Okay.
But if no one was looking, maybe there would have been something. But
no.
I haven't sung enough praise for Jess. She throughout all that stuff when my knee, she met me. We got together when I was a happy athlete.
You were the up and coming UFC fighter.
Yeah, and then she signs the dotted line, and then on this cripple,
just fall apart.
I can't work, can't walk, and she's supporting me financially. She's just a champion. And throughout the whole time, a normal person would have been time to just give this shit up, get another job. She helped me with everything she could think of to support me financially and emotionally, all that, to help me get back to being healthy. Sending me off to Florida to get stem cells, all this sort of stuff.
Just bring that mic in here a bit more, there. I think.
Surgeries and everything.
Yep.
So she did a lot, and then she was funding these trips. That was her money lost when I went to Kazakhstan. And I'm earning money too, but she's got a proper job. She works at Stanford. So she's funding my crazy dream. Not once telling me it's crazy. I know it's crazy. She's not telling me that.
It's not crazy.
To a normal person, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So she's doing all this sort of stuff. So it was great to be able to win it, run over to her and thank her and tell her, it's because of her. And I couldn't have done this stuff without her. So thank you, Jess.
Thank you, Jess.
Thank you. I love you. Awesome.
She's the best.
The best, yeah. So
you are lucky. You did well there. Yeah. You did well there.
I did, man. I don't know how I scored that, but I did well.
Yeah.
So,
so for those that don't understand, just to put into context, ADCC is the grappling / jiu-jitsu equivalent of the Olympics. Like, it's our biggest thing. If you're an ADCC champion, even if you're just an ADCC finalist, which you have been multiple times, but now just recently you won the trials. Now jiu-jitsu's exploded. Everyone's good, and you still won it. So it wasn't just 2005 where it was like two other guys, and it was I won it. But you won it against that kid you beat. He's very good. He's training professionally. He's a proper jiu-jitsu
training
guy.
full time over in Dubai with the Nagara team. Or
he's not.
He's good.
He's no slouch at all, and you still
solid.
took it out. So that was massive, man. That was a huge achievement.
So I was super happy with that, and the last 2 years at Caio Terra Academy, I can't say enough good things about Caio as a coach, Yuri as a coach, the team as a whole. The guys there are just incredible. Jeremy Jackson, who's kind of like the glue that holds that place together. He's kind of like the unofficial team captain. Just keeps the place running smooth. It's one of those places, no egos. We just runs so well. It's just been one of the best things I've ever done is join that team. Those guys are my brothers. I love that team. So, yeah, that really brought me up. Had I not joined that, I really don't think I would have been able to do what I did in the last few years, with the IBJJF Worlds and everything. So yeah, a lot of thanks to those guys. So after that, came back, did another Worlds, but I hadn't trained in the gi for like 2 months, and didn't do well in that. Lost in the quarterfinal actually to someone Babylonia. Had a bye, won a match, lost to him. Did that wrist roll again, god damn it! And then as I came over to get on top, he flicked a leg over to like an omoplata position, went belly down.
Interesting.
With my hand got caught in his armpit.
Yep.
And into a funky arm bar. So credit him. Sucks for me. But that cost me another shot at trying to take out Victor Hugo. I had a different game plan this time. Had a different game plan that I think was...
Did he take out that division again?
Yeah, he got double gold, So I wanted that back.
Has he got his black yet?
Yes. So he got his black in his first tournament. He went to that tournament in Russia. I forget what it's called. Maybe ACB? BJJ. Yeah.
Yep.
He did that, and he fought the guy that came second to Buchecha in the finals. He lost to Buchecha, and he beat him. So Victor's already...
Yeah, he's legit.
Yeah, and he's qualified for ADCC too. I don't have a million fights with him, but I wouldn't mind some more revenge, and ADCC rules definitely favor me. I feel very comfortable. Did he win the
Brazilian?
No, he was an invite.
He was an invite.
Him and Muhammad Ali were the last two guys to get invited. Yeah, so it was a stacked division. Heaps of tough guys. So,
the ADCC finals are going to be off the chain. I mean, we're all super excited about that. Yeah. That's in September. It's just huge.
Super excited. Yeah. So.
Remember, guys, Dennis is in a sling while he's sitting here. We haven't got this. Get your tissues ready because.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah.
So, I decided. Anyone that knows Luke knows he's a leg lock specialist. He's one of my best resources for leg locks. I love coming out here.
Thank you.
Me and him just hit it off. We get together. We just talk jiu-jitsu.
I think we're just both jiu-jitsu nerds.
We just love it, man. Yeah. We just feed off each other.
Not even jiu-jitsu, martial arts. I want to say,
Yeah. We form like Voltron. We just go full geek mode. So plan was come out here, do a bunch of seminars, and I was going to stay here roughly a week, train with him by day, teach seminars by night.
Sorted.
And it was going to be awesome. So I come out here on the 17th, went to Canberra. On the 18th, had a bit of a roll, did some weights, bit fatigued, bit jet lagged, had a roll after maybe not fully warmed up against a couple of smaller guys, some black belts, and then went against a guy really strong and tried to hit kind of like a cutback single, like a weird position where I went for like a takedown from under front headlock. Tried to pop my head up and like tap the far knee. And there's a lot of things I do pretty explosive, and I went for it and pop. Felt some pop right right here, and that was
my heart. That was my heart popping.
I thought, oh man, I think I just tore my pec muscle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tore my pec muscle. I also tore both tendons clean off the bone.
Fuck. So did that tear the muscle, or it literally just pulled those tendons off the bone?
Muscle and tendons.
Jesus Christ.
So I didn't know that. I was like, this does not feel good. This feels really bad. I went home, looked in the mirror, lifted my arms up, and the muscle belly just wasn't there. It was like there was nothing in my armpit. Fuck, I think I've torn this. And I've seen some fighters like Shogun and a few guys like that have a similar looking pec. They made it work, whatever. I don't
you can always convince yourself that it's not that bad.
I can do this. I can do this.
Your leg's pointing the wrong direction.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was always that way.
Flesh wound. So I thought I can still do this. There's a way around this. There's a way around this. It's just a pec tear. It's just the muscle. It's fine. It's fine. So I went to see a sports doctor. He says, I think you've ripped it clean off the bone. So he sends me to a surgeon. The surgeon says, I think you've ripped it clean off the bone. Surgeon sends me to an MRI guy. I go straight back to the surgeon. He says, they're saying you've ripped both tendons clean off the bone. But I don't think so. He thought it was only one tendon. He thought that wrong. So have to go in for surgery. So within less than a week, I was in there getting surgery, realizing that if I have this surgery, ADCC is
gone,
off. It's done.
And for those listening that don't know that well, it's every 2 years, so it's not every 4, but every 2, and it's a thing that you don't always get that opportunity. So it's just such a big. So much goes into getting there, and you were there again in the finals. I think that's why
I did it twice. I did it when I was a blue belt.
Yeah,
I wasn't there to win it. I was there to try, do my thing. I hung with Verdun. It was good experience, but I wasn't.
We'll say nearly beat, not hung. We'll just go with that. Okay, this story can be changed.
Went with Homlu Bahal. That was
nearly beat.
Yeah, nearly. Not really. Yeah. So this time I've been training with Yuri like day in and day out, button heads with killers. This is the first time in all those years that I've really concentrated on jiu-jitsu, and I really feel like I'm doing good.
Yep.
I feel like there are people, like I look at the list of guys, they're all killers. There are guys there I know.
But you belong with those guys.
Yeah, I know stylistically how I can beat some of these guys. And people on my team are telling me, like, you can beat this guy, you can beat that guy. So I'm thinking there's a good chance that I could do well. Like, not the same when it beat Craig Jones, but like that's how Craig Jones, he went there, he'd already been, but his second time he went there and surprised a lot of people. I wanted this to be my year to... Remember,
just because it used to be just, unless you were Brazilian or... Really, unless you were Brazilian, it didn't matter. And then now it's become Brazilian and American. But now, it doesn't actually matter. There's so much access to high-level information that you can be Australian even now, and we're proving that.
Yeah. So I really wanted this to be the time, wanted to get my leg lock defense covered with Luke, plus some other stuff. And, Luke, I had to thank on Instagram because I do generally IBJJF rules. So before the trials in Japan, going against Daniel, who's known for a lot of heel hooks and everything. So me and Luke did some like online, like we did like FaceTime or whatever, and like you had some ukis, and so he's drilling. He's sending me videos. I'm asking him questions. Then I've got another guy in Japan, that big black dude, Haisam Ryder. We're on the mat drilling stuff while Luke's talking us through techniques. So we, that was kind of the beginning. I was trying to get my leg lock defense down. I wanted to be perfect. I wanted to be really good for the world. So that's half the reason I was here to train with Luke. So very bummed.
I appreciate that a lot because you've got a lot of access to good information. So
so do you, man. You fucking over in New York, learning from the source, and you got Jason Rao, and yeah.
We're both heading the right direction. We're
trying.
One day you're going to come back to Australia, and we'll get a lot more time together
I'll be
as well.
Sitting in a wheelchair, coaching from the side.
I'll drag you over, and I'll say, "This is Dennis, guys.
Yeah.
He used to be the man."
Yeah.
I'm just going to go change his colostomy bag.
Yeah, it's on the way, man. So right now, I've got from here.
So Dennis, for those that are listening, Dennis is pointing kind of like up on the top of his pec, right to the outside of his bicep.
Right here, right?
Yeah, but people do listen on SoundCloud too.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So what's this? This is a good...
Yeah, it's probably like
probably
200 mil. Yeah, like 8 inches. Yeah.
That's what she said. I don't know. It's like a big fucking... big, disgusting scar.
Yeah.
Big thing.
The scar they put on you for those things, it literally looks like they did the surgery with a machete. One of the boys from here did the same thing, and it's a horrible looking scar. They must have to open you up like a banana. Yeah.
And your guy from here, I talked to him.
Yeah, Christian. Yep.
He came back strong.
Yep. Yeah, fantastic.
I talked to another guy in Canberra, weightlifter. He did it. He came back strong.
Yep.
I got a a voice recorded message from Rafael Lovato Jr.
Lovato
He did
Jr.
the same thing, and he came back strong. It took him a little longer, I think, than your guy.
Yep.
But he came back strong. So I'm hoping this, for
you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
You're going to be perfectly fine. I think that just the disappointing thing for all of us is just the timing.
Yeah.
You were ready to go out there. But look, like I said before, dwelling on that now makes no difference.
Yeah, and I'm not dwelling on it too much.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. The first 2 days, I ate about 5 tubs of connoisseur ice cream.
Nice.
I went
Which
straight
one?
home.
Which flavour?
A lot of vanilla.
Vanilla?
It's not my favorite, but I was staying with my parents. I had a lot of it. Then a bunch of chocolate and, oh man, I had so many different types of ice cream. I had a lot. I had Wheat bars. I had everything. I was just pigging out. Then I swore myself off for 2 days and I was right back on the wagon for another couple of days eating ice cream after the surgery. And yeah, so got to start dialing that back in now because I'm not training as hard as I was.
Yes.
Not burning all the calories. So don't want to turn into a blimp. But I'm glad this is not a lower body injury. It really sucked when my knee was fucked. When you can't walk, you can't live life right, So this upper body and, I just got to change my focus. I got to work on... I'm very obsessive with jiu-jitsu. So, like, all my eggs are in one basket to the detriment of everything else. There's so many things in my life that I'm not paying attention to that are behind where they should be because I'm all in on jiu-jitsu. And that's great for jiu-jitsu. That's not great for the rest of my life as far as, business and like certain things, giving things back to my wife that she deserves, things like that.
Yep.
So I got to just change my focus and what's done is done. I just got to make the best of my situation now and just try and move forward. The worst thing for me to do is stop and not be doing something moving forward. So I just got to deal with this and...
Look, I think 6 months we're going to see you back to moving.
Hope so, man.
I think that's what's going to be.
My surgeon said he thought about 4 months and I'll be like drilling pretty good.
Yep.
And then hopefully 6 months is pretty solid. I'm going to go spastic with this rehab.
Remember, there's trials again next year.
Yeah.
So it comes around quick. There's going to be
Go
trials.
for this shit again.
They're going to be in Sydney.
And, I do know someone, one of the guys from 10th Planet, Big Red, that he won one of the US trials, then blew his knee out, and then next time round talked to the guys, and then they invited him. So there is a chance I might get an invite, but I'm not going to count on that. I'm going to get healthy. I'm going to get back to competition. I'm going to try and do a bunch of no-gi tournaments, whatever ones I can do, keep getting my name out there, and
Caio Terra, if you're listening, please give Dennis a black belt. This
well,
guy's ready
the
to go.
plan is...
I know you can never ask anybody that. No, I would never.
Nothing is official, but I'm flying back on the 2nd, and on the 4th we have a belt grading thing, and I'm pretty sure... I hope. I look like a fucking idiot if I don't.
We'll delete this and never talk about it again.
Yeah, so it should be me, Kaniela, Benji, Hanato, Ryan Walsh, all my teammates that have all been like top level browns for a long time. Should all be now black belts. We should be getting our blacks then. So that'll be sweet.
I look forward to seeing that.
And part of the reason that didn't happen, we talked about it earlier, was like I said, I never really focused purely on jiu-jitsu, and like early on I switched to wrestling, and then I wasn't doing a lot of jiu-jitsu, and then I came back and I really focused on the boxing, and then Anthony gave me my brown in 2012, I think, the start of 2012, and then when I came back from surgery in 2014, he was talking to me about maybe giving me my black then, but I said, like, yeah, I don't want to get it having just had surgery and step on the mat having not really done jiu-jitsu in like 6 months. Let me go back to America and train up, and then I went back to America, had my knee surgery. So then it was like 3 years of like next to no training. Then going to Caio's gym, I then have to prove myself as a real competitor. The person before this group that got his last black belt under Caio was Hudson Mateus, who won double gold, and he got bronze at black belt at the IBJJF World. So to get a black under Caio, you need to be a high-level competitor brown belt.
That's a pretty awesome thing too. Like, that's going to mean a lot when that goes around your waist. You're going to know that was well earned. There's guys, and I talk about this openly. There's guys who have black belts who I don't think should have black belts, and it actually makes me embarrassed to be. Not it makes me embarrassed, but I think it should be held to a high standard. I think it should be. not everyone can be a high-level competitor like you are, but I think you should be very good at what you do. Very, very good at what you do. And I think there's some people who aren't, and that's what I mean. When you look at some people who have black belts and then you're a brown belt, but, you know, as far as I'm concerned, you're a black belt already. It's just it's not the colour of the belt around your waist.
Yeah. And where I'm from, most people know that, you know, like in Canberra. I think I flew under the radar pretty well. I never really publicised myself too well, but in Canberra, people know, you know, in the grappling circles, people know who I am and whatnot. So that I do get some credit there, but it'll be good to finally.
And it's not everything, but it's something that. It's something to be very proud of, and you've literally dedicated your life to it. You've dedicated at least half your life to it. And
I've spent every waking minute thinking about this shit. I was training about,
So I think
a lot of time.
That's an exciting thing. We look forward to seeing that.
Yeah.
We might start to wrap it up because I know you've got to get back to Canberra.
I am getting that from Caio and Yuri, but you know, like I also did the majority of my training from afar, but like, you know, with Anthony Prosh, with Elvis Sinisic, so big thanks to those guys. They shaped my game early on. The finishing touch, you know, I get to get my black belt from Caio, but I got my belts from other people leading up, so I gotta give them credit for sure.
No, for sure. Man, thank you so much for coming and talking today. We've been wanting to catch up for years. I feel like we still don't get enough time, but we'll keep making it happen. Maybe next time in the States you can come over and
for sure,
train. I hope this thing heals up as quick as. Sponsors, I know you're sponsored. Do you want to chat about those guys?
Right here, Atlas. These are my guys.
Covered by your lovely sling.
He's a guy originally from Canberra.
Fantastic Australian brand.
Reached out to me, and you know, I had a few people I could have maybe been sponsored by, but I definitely wanted it to be a homegrown Australian brand. You know, maybe some of the others are a little better known. They've been established for a little longer, but I wanted to represent an Australian brand, so I'm very proud to be representing Atlas.
Fantastic. I'm trying to think of their websites. Atlas, not Atlas Combat. It's Atlas. What is it?
Damn it, I should know.
You're a terrible person.
Damn it.
Atlas. Anyway, if you Google Atlas BJJ clothing or something, it'll come up.
You'll find it.
Their gear's fantastic.
Awesome.
I actually hooked up Jason Rao, a buddy of mine. He's sponsored by them. Nick Ronan, another few of the guys that's at Henzo's. So he's doing great stuff in the jiu-jitsu stuff. So thank you to him for supporting.
Thank you.
Thank you to my team out here, everyone at Sydney West Martial Arts. Like I said, guys, we've actually got all the madness happening out there at the moment. If anyone wants to, you know, start out doing jiu-jitsu in this area, come and see us.
Couldn't recommend this place highly enough.
Thank you.
There's a UFC gym down the road, looks flashy, doesn't have anything. This is a spot to be. If you're anywhere in the area, if you're on the other side of Sydney, come here.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that a lot because I'm putting a lot of work in to earn that. I don't expect that to be given, but I expect that to be earned, and I'm putting a lot of work in.
It's Sean, man. You know, me and him were apart for quite a while, but he came to Canberra when I moved back, and I was so impressed with your knowledge. Like, you've always been good, but yeah, when I saw him, I think 2 years ago now.
It's changed in the last 2 or 3 years.
But even then, I was like, wow, man, you've really taken off. You've been working with Jason Rao for a long time.
A couple of years,
leaps and bounds.
Access to good information can really, and not that I wasn't getting that from my previous coaches, but the extra stuff.
Like a little more cutting edge.
You've experienced the same thing with thanks to Endless Combat, who look after us on the podcast. If anyone wants to use the promo code HeatLocker10, you'll get a 10% discount. So jump on their website. They've got really nice training gear. And Dennis, what's your Instagram if people want to follow you? Dennis with one N, so DENIS _ Kokushi, KOKUSHI. That's short for Kokushikan, the university I wrestled for. So Denis Kokushi. Find Big D, follow him, keep up to date with what he's up to, watch him kick ass. And as soon as I'm healthy. Thank you so much, mate. I appreciate it. Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right.